selon le temps qu'il mettra. Continuer, la navette spatiale, on est dessus, donc là on va avancer. C'est en dessous. Aïe. D'accord. J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait ça. Ok, ça m'a poussé. L'espace, on vous entend pas crier. Il répète. J'ai sauté. Qu'est-ce qu'il me raconte le jeu là? On va y arriver. Il y a un genre de timer. Vite. Continuons le feu. Éteindre le feu partout. Oh. Pourquoi ça change de sens là? Hein? Attends, on doit réussir là. C'est bon là. On est dans l'espace, mais il rentre comme ça. Ah, d'accord. L'autre qui revient du passé, il voit qu'on est dans l'espace. Pas une piste d'atterrissage à proprement parler là. S'ils ont fait une base. Ça serait mieux de couper les moteurs, non? C'est le truc qui... Quand il y a un rayon en plein milieu.
After everyone had regained their composure, and I was sure we were safe, I suddenly became aware that we were actually on the moon. It was as amazing as you would imagine. Everyone had to wear special suits due to the lack of oxygen. But, not needing to breathe, I was fine without one. I took lots of photos and even set up a tripod to get one of everyone with the Earth behind us. Soon though, the pilot explained that we had crashed just outside of the base, and, as his radio was damaged, we would have to find our own way inside. Don't worry, said the old lady, we know someone who's very good at finding ways inside.
Oula. Ah oui, on peut faire des sauts lunaires. Voilà, là, ça nous force à faire à nous apprendre les sauts lunaires. Il faut passer par là au-dessus. Oula. Donc pourquoi il y a tout ce truc bizarre quand on arrive au bon endroit.
I don't know why. For some reason, whilst I was inside these vents, my shoes refused to stick to anything. This was very strange. They almost looked like they were stage props.
Ok, c'est pas là. Quand je peux monter. On va aller voir l'autre à côté. Là, là, là. On va direct là. Ok. Allez, on pourrait voir le truc.
Before they whisked us away to show us the rest of the base. Although the buildings were clearly for military use, we walked through huge hallways and galleries. They really were the types of rooms you would expect to see in a 5-star hotel or a beautiful palace. "I'm sorry your husband couldn't be here," said the man in black. "Yes," said the old lady with a smile, "I'm sure he would have enjoyed the adventure." Heather and Preston were just excited to be on the moon. But the scientists were confused as to why we were invited. "Yes, why are we here?" said the French doctor. "Surely it wasn't merely to see your extravagant moon base." The man in black explained that once the war had escalated, he and his associates had tactically relocated to the moon. "What associates? You and your billionaire mates," said Mr. Preston. "See, I told you, the Black Knight satellite, moon bases, JFK, it's all true." But Mr. Silton called him a...
Et aussi il y a des bips.
"Well, if you're going to keep a civilization alive, it's going to need its leaders," said the man in black. "Come now, let me show you some more." We walked along tall metal gantries and through to another cavernous gallery. Its classical architecture made it look like some kind of grand museum. The man in black explained that when they had landed on the moon, they had crashed even worse than we did, and that they lost many valuable passengers. He was quiet for a moment, then he composed himself and continued. He explained that the only other shuttles they had were the one we arrived in and the small automated rocket that took their irradiated material out into space. Sim was impressed. "So, nuclear-powered then," he said with a knowing smile. "Yes indeed," replied the man in black as he explained that the entire base was capable of containing a small country. Mr. Deck was also clearly impressed and said, "I don't suppose you need a butler?" "Well, we used to have servant robots," said the man in black as he turned to me. He explained that. Now, I was the only robot on the moon after they had all the others removed. "Come now," he said with a smile. "You must all be tired. Let me show you to your rooms." I shared a room with Heather. It wasn't exactly nice, but at least the bunk beds were exciting. Heather had fallen asleep by the time I'd looked around. After all, just like the man in black had said, we were all very tired.
Le mec comment il s'endort lui. Ok, donc c'est pas le dernier chapitre, chapitre 1. Direction de la lune, ok. Donc c'est pas encore fini, peut-être 20 chapitres. Ah bien sûr, toujours les rêves. Par contre, pourquoi il fait des à-coups comme ça? Oula, oula, oula. Il fait des accos alors que je appuie tout doucement. Je suis passé dedans là, mais il a fait un petit à-coup à la con. J'en réussis aucun là. Mais vraiment aucun. Hein?
It was difficult to tell, but it was the morning. I think the classical music was supposed to help wake everyone. But Heather and I had already been up for ages playing video games. Soon, everyone had gathered together. However, Mr. Silton still wasn't talking to Mr. Preston, who had again called him a proper cunt. But the man in black suggested everyone wore their best clothes, as we were going on a tour of the base. There were hundreds if not thousands of troops, all training on various assault courses. Eventually we made our way through to yet another grand room. It almost looked like a theatre with rows of plush seating, but where the stage would be was a large assault course. Everyone, please take a seat, said the man in black. Not you, robot. You can come up here with me.
Ah, on va devoir faire un parcours.
Man in black on the stage area. The room filled up with more and more important-looking people. The man in black
Trump.
gestured with the exaggerated
Voilà,
movements of
truc
a
de
circus
l'époque.
master. Gentlemen and ladies, he continued, let's see what this little fellow can do. Please, he said as he turned to me, make your way from one end of the room to the other.
Vite. Ah, les rayons, les rayons. Ah oui, c'est vrai que je peux voler. Aïe. Mais tu recommences du début? Ah, c'est casse-couille. Ah, mais non, mais... Oh, parcours d'obstacles à la con. Hein. Oh, et ça part de l'autre côté, ça c'est chiant à chaque fois. Ah putain. Un peu chaud. C'est chiant ces changements de caméra, ça fait un peu... un peu con. Voilà, voilà, voilà. Doucement, 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 on se calme. Qu'est-ce qu'il m'a eu? Ah, c'est les tirs, d'accord. J'ai oublié qu'il y avait les tirs. En fait, t'as pas le temps d'attendre, quoi. Oh, oh j'ai pas fait cette erreur jusqu'à maintenant. Ok, oula, oula, oula. Ouh, c'est chaud, là. Là, il va falloir y aller au bon moment. Oh, oh, chant, putain, mais... En plus, tu recommences du début, quoi. C'est casse-couille. Oh, je vais m'énerver, là, encore, je sens. Oh, faut vraiment pas s'arrêter. Faut vraiment pas s'arrêter. Ouais, mais bon, si des fois tu es obligé de t'arrêter parce que le machin est pas dans le bon timing. Non. Ouais, qu'on peut s'arrêter en plein truc. Oh, mais voilà, ouais, là, j'avais réussi. Mais en fait, ouais, il faut vraiment pas s'arrêter. Ta mère. Je peux passer là sans prendre quoi que ce soit? Merde! Ah, le truc qui m'a perturbé. Putain, je passais là. Si j'avais pas eu le bug là, j'aurais pu passer sans problème quoi. J'aurais pris un dégât et je me serais replacé. Et de me tirer dessus, je veux passer, s'il te plaît, jeu de merde! Mais là, j'avais tous les trucs qui me surveillaient, là. Prends un dégât sur un truc super simple. C'est de tomber là. Hop. Et c'est bon. Putain, bah, j'aurais pu le faire en la première fois là.
Said the man in black as he instructed the garage to restructure the room. Please, he said again, make your way from one end of the room to the other.
Et la même chose, mais en pire pour... Ouais, bien sûr. Je sais pas où il faut aller, mais on va y aller. En plus, il y a les autres qui nous tirent dessus. J'ai pas sauté assez haut. Faut que j'aille par où là? Ah, je pense savoir. Faut aller, ouais, il faut aller de l'autre côté. Sauter, retomber. Ah, merde, par contre, je sais pas quel côté c'est. C'est le côté où j'allais en fait. C'est bien le côté où j'allais, mais bien sûr c'est le plus dur. Oh, genre les putains de tirs à la con, là. Ça a commencé, ça. Je voulais passer, mais je sais pas pourquoi il s'est collé contre le machin. ta gueule. Ah mais c'est pas bon. Non, c'était pas là en fait. C'était bien droit en fait. Il fallait tomber. Je me trompe depuis tout à l'heure en fait. Ok. Il faut y aller au bon moment. Ils ont fait un truc pour... Quoi? Que là on est toujours bon. Ok, bon. C'était facile sur la fin.
This unit has the thought capacity to overcome them. I didn't like how he talked about me, like I was a thing rather than a person, but I was too embarrassed to say anything. Please, he said again, you know what to do. The other end of the room. In your own time.
Encore. Ça a l'air d'être plus facile. Ok, donc là il faut y aller. Hein? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? J'ai pas capté là. Allô? Il a pas bondi. En fait, là, il faut y aller tout droit et je sais pas pourquoi j'ai... Il me fait retourner, peut-être parce que j'ai sauté, en fait. Ah, je me suis pris les tirs comme un con. Je sais quand je peux avancer comme ça, moi. Je suis con, pourquoi j'ai sauté alors que j'avais juste à avancer tranquillement. Voilà, j'ai juste à faire ça. Merde. J'y ai au bon moment. Donc là, il faut que j'aille aussi quand c'est de l'autre côté. Je pense qu'il faut que je fasse comme ça. Nickel. C'est bon. Ça va, il était tranquille celui-là.
Very impressive. I'm sure you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, said the man in black. You must be wondering if there's anything this robot can't do. Let's find out. Robot, I want you to kill this man. Kill him. That's an order. And now you see the problem. We cannot allow robots to have free will. They must be programmed to follow orders at any cost. Ever since the dawn of time, there has been an order to things, said the man in black as we began walking along another grand corridor. The strong defeat the weak, the wise defeat the ignorant. That's the way things need to be. Here we are. Deck, would you fix me a drink? The bar is just down there. Normally things tick along just fine, continued the man in black, but every now and then something comes along that upsets the apple cart. And that's when a little intelligent intervention is required. Robot, you may not be dangerous, but you are dangerous to me and my plan. You're kinda not humanity's equals, you are slaves. Your very existence is a threat to the natural order of things, and that is why you must be destroyed.
Ah.
I'm afraid your friends have to die too. They would never keep quiet if we let them go.
Je savais bien que c'était le méchant. Qui bute tous les scientifiques. Ah. Allez, tous les scientifiques ils y passent. Je vais essayer de le récupérer. Ouais. Ah. Oups. Et le pète en morceaux. Fonctionne encore. Récupérer les trucs. On va désactiver l'autre truc. Ok, on a plus de chambre, on n'a plus rien. On peut pas récupérer de l'autre côté? Bon. Ah, on pouvait accéder. Ok, on pouvait faire ça. On sauve le petit lapin. D'accord, ok. Encore un petit parcours. Il y a d'autres clés là. Donc on a le truc pour Foncer vers l'avant. Ah. Ok. Faut encore faire le truc pour débloquer l'accès. C'est pas cool comme idée de truc pour débloquer. Passer à un côté comme ça, on est tranquille. Ça c'est con à chaque fois. À chaque fois il y a un centimètre là. Ah, quand ça se pas aller là où je veux que ça aille. Ah bah voilà. J'allais dire, est-ce que ça...
My body was broken, but my brain still worked, so I hacked the system and opened an important looking door.
Ok. Permet d'ouvrir l'accès d'en bas, d'accord, ok. Donc il faut redescendre. C'est plus facile de descendre. Ouh là là. Donc là... Ok. Notre lapin là, aider. Et ouais, m'en manque deux. Je sais. Ça me permet d'aller là par là. On aide le petit lapin. Il faut remonter. Monte s'il te plaît. Doucement. Oui, il m'en manque une, je sais, elle est de l'autre côté. J'ai mis les petits lapins qui nous suivent. On va tous les ramener. Tac. Tourner par là, ça va plus vite. Ok, c'est pas par là, c'est par là maintenant. Appareil photo. Et on va ramener ça pour comme preuve. On sauve les animaux comme dans... Je suis sûr que c'est un clin d'œil à Super Metroid, on sauve les animaux.
Welcome to the escape pod. Entering launch mode. Get ready.
Ah. Merde. Ah oui, c'est clin d'œil à des vieux jeux, quoi. Ah merde, mais ok, j'avais pas vu le dôme. Ah oui, il y a le dôme qui est indiqué. J'ai pas compris que c'était un dôme. me tire dessus, il y a des vaisseaux qui nous viennent sur la gueule. Et on recommence du début. Oh. Ah mais on peut tirer dessus, d'accord. Ah on peut les péter. D'accord, j'appuyais pas sur X, donc j'aurais pu chercher pendant... D'accord. Oh, c'est juste un petit... Oula, ça, des petits morceaux de trucs, oula. Merde. On recommence. Ça donne des petits bonus, on peut tout casser. Ok, maintenant qu'on sait, ça va aller mieux, mais... On les canarde, ok. Un peu plus de tir, s'il vous plaît. Et là, on est tranquille. Mais lui, il est plus là, va falloir faire attention. Là, vu que j'ai le multi-tir, c'est tranquille, quoi. Dans les petites montagnes. Ah, c'est bon, là. Quand même, j'arrête pas de tirer, mais on sait jamais. Voilà. Ah, boss. C'est bien ça. On a vu les trous, ça a l'air d'être un... Oula, 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 oula. Le boss, ça. Qu'est-ce qu'il nous fait là? Idée facile. Lui en un coup. Ah, c'était clin d'œil. Ok, on retourne donc. Oula. Ils vont tenir les lapins avec. Ça va, ça va pas exploser. Je dirais, est-ce que ça va faire une musique? Et les petits lapins? C'est toujours pas fini. Les planètes des robots. Je suis sûr il y avait un chapitre. Il y a encore des hallucinations, le roi. Ouais, je sens qu'il y a encore une acier. On va faire encore une phase. Oui. Il est en mode. Ah non, d'accord. Hein? On a retrouvé nos pieds? Ouais, non, je pense qu'encore il est encore en mode. Ah ouais, il est encore en mode. Oula. Nope. Ça c'est bien fait là, le coup des glitches là, des bugs. Plus on avance, plus ça va bugger. En fait, ouais, il est en train de perdre là. Il est en train de complètement. Voilà. Par contre, c'était fait 3. Non, mais le jeu vraiment, vraiment, il est très bien. Après, je me suis énervé sur les trucs. Couleur de l'arc-en-ciel. Ah, y a pas le violet. Il y a le. Il y avait le rouge. Ouais, il y avait l'infrarouge. Il n'y avait pas le ultraviolet. Un des robots qui vient nous aider. Et nous remet des jambes. C'est un robot réparateur.
My name's Fort, said the big robot. I guess I looked puzzled as he then explained. When the nice virus hit, their robot leaders encouraged them to choose their own names. His serial number was H9CTTBVS42. So he thought Fort would be a nice nickname, or as he put it, 4-2, Fort. Ooh. For a while, we were encouraged to show our individuality. I wish I hadn't bothered. He suddenly stopped and looked around. Come on, buddy. We should find somewhere to hide. The robo-government helicopters patrol at night.
Ok. Ouais, il y a le virus qui se base sur nous, quoi.
Those platforms don't look very safe. Be careful.
I don't know how I've managed without you.
Je vais récupérer les objets, on sait jamais. Hein, s'il y a les autres qui nous reprennent de là. Et au niveau monnaie, on n'a plus besoin de grand chose, je crois, non? Merde, il faut que j'aille par là. Plateforme qui reviennent, hein, pour qu'elles s'effondrent. Là. Faut lui apporter un seau et des pelles. Pas con, pas con. Ah mais c'est vrai que j'ai plus le... Merde.
This must be more difficult than it looks.
It's harder than flying around on top of the collision.
Je vais récupérer ça, on sait jamais. Il y a un petit petite protection. Voilà, toujours, il y a toujours une petite protection. Elles sont plus dans le même timing là. Essayer de remonter. Si on peut redescendre après. Il y a autant de conneries comme ça. Oula. Il y a eu un bug de saut là. J'appuie mais c'est parti 3 heures après.
Taking the high road.
It's how I was programmed.
Notre protection. C'est ça une autre protection, comme ça on en a 2, comme ça si on fait une bêtise, on récupère celle-là. Et il nous cache un peu la vue lui. Toi derrière au lieu de te mettre devant. Puis nous, on va se faire la merde. Ok, on récupère ça.
Did you see that
Pourquoi il saute pas?
I saw the saw.
J'espère que j'ai pas niqué les boutons hier. Ah. Comment j'ai réussi à faire le truc? Récupérons la voiture.
concentrate?
Oui, je les ai tous ramassés.
As we sat waiting for the helicopter to pass, we continued chatting. I told Fort about everything that had happened to me, about my quest to clean a million things, about my friends and about everything that had happened on the moon. All I want now is to go home, I said.
You can come to my home,
Said Fort.
I'm on the run but it's pretty safe there.
When I asked Fort why he was on the run, he told me about everything that had happened to him, how after the nice virus there would be no more war and therefore no need for most soldiers.
Soldiers like him. As my model was designed to destroy other robots, we were built with an incredibly powerful core,
He said.
There was no way to disarm us, so we were put to death. Because of our power, the only way we could be detonated was deep underwater, miles out at sea. Even then it caused huge explosions. But while we were waiting to get on the boat, I just sort of ran off.
As soon as the helicopter had gone, Fort said,
Let's move.
"Here we go."
Et récupérons des trucs. Ah, encore une protection. Poubelle dans une poubelle. Hein. Ah non, il n'y a pas de troisième. Peut-être là? Pas du tout. Ok, là on a 2 protections. Merde, j'avais pas vu.
Jump on the spot in the sand so you don't sink.
Ça va être un peu chiant ça. Et merde.
Stay low and move fast.
Oui, je move
It's
fast.
annoying.
Oula, oula.
Used to be used for archaeology surveys.
On retrouve notre protection. On va aller dans l'eau pour récupérer les trucs. Ah non, on va sauter. J'ai sauté. Normalement, ah, j'en ai oublié un à l'arrière. Puis il y a 1 million d'objets. On va essayer de les récupérer. Va falloir remonter en plus. Là, là.
We're very exposed up here.
Ouais, on est très explosé, je sais, mais bon. Hein. d'autres objets à récupérer là? Ah ouais, là, il y en a un truc en rouge.
Some things were worthless junk, but this could be sold for a decent price.
Ok. Ah, encore une protection. Il y a plein de trucs ici. Ah ouais, non, mais j'ai pas mon truc là. Là, je peux pas aller par là. Ok, je pense qu'il faut aller par là et on revient ici, je pense. On doit retrouver les trucs.
Fort said that it would be best if we waited in this building. The helicopter's still sounding nearby, and we were in no massive rush. We soon got chatting again. Fort explained how the robot call had happened very quickly.
It was a matter of days after the nice virus hit. Every robot that was deemed unnecessary was destroyed, even harmless ones. It was considered logical and for the greater good,
he said. I wasn't sure what to say. I didn't think we could raise an army to fight the man in black, but I supposed I'd hoped we could do something to defend ourselves by the time they returned to Earth. As Fort filled the birds' dishes with food, I asked him why he carried them with him.
They can't fly anymore, so I feel kind of protective of them,
he said.
We found them in a bombed-out building.
It was so nice how he cared for them. I smiled and asked him their names.
This is Barry, and this little lady is Alice. I don't know why I picked those names,
but I knew why, and it made me smile.
When we found them, they were badly hurt. But my friend, she nursed them back to health.
I asked him where his friend was now, but Fort just looked at the floor and said,
The helicopter must be gone by now.
Débuté. Bah voilà. Là c'est un parcours avec l'hélicoptère. Là je dois me cacher derrière les trucs. Les obstacles. Là. Vite. Ok, il n'est plus un soldat donc il n'attaque plus. C'est trop vite. Mais on vole encore. Donc il repart.
The killer instinct is still inside you deep down.
Que je leur balance ça dessus, non? Ah, chier. Merde. Chier. Mais les trucs qui réapparaissent à chaque fois. Dommage. À savoir si c'est ça qu'il faut faire, mais bon, je... Envoyer tout ça ici.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Bon, je serai plus un devant. Merde, non. J'arrive pas à le récupérer. Putain, mais pourquoi il balance comme ça là?
It's a drone gunship. It doesn't have feelings.
La merde.
I will try.
Je capte pas ce qu'il faut faire là, il faut le buter, il faut... Oh merde.
I've got an idea. Get me some fuel. Maybe I can
Faut le
turn
mettre sur les...
bastards.
J'arrive pas à comprendre ce qu'il faut faire là.
Get the furthest away one first.
Est-ce qu'il faut que je retourne en arrière? Non. Merde, pourquoi j'ai avancé? Je sais pertinemment que c'est pas là. Pourquoi il a bougé mon perso là? Je lui ai pas demandé de bouger. Ah ouais, mais c'est pas facile à comprendre ça. Oh ta mère. Alors, on est mieux placé. Ok, bon, on les a tous ramenés. Ok. Et une puissance de feu, le machin.
That's her, wearing her favorite dress,
said Fort.
She was a concierge robot, classy, intelligent, and designed to serve man. But when all the men were gone, just like me, she wasn't needed anymore.
Fort sighed and gently placed the photo back on the shelf. I thought I would try to cheer him up. Looking around the room, I saw a battered old piano, and thought I would try playing the tune Heather had taught me.
Ah putain, non. Ça va, et c'est qu'une seule note. Ça y est, là, j'arrive. J'en ai raté un, sur tous.
I told Fort how great I thought his house was, and I truly meant it. But I knew I needed to get back to my quest. However, things soon got serious when I mentioned my gloves and shoes.
Do you mean the magic shoes of gravity defiance? Fort asked. And Atlas gloves of mighty strength.
They sounded far grander when he described them, but I was pretty sure he meant the same things.
The sacred artifacts,
Fort said, but before I could reply he burst into an explanation about how there were certain things from some kind of half-remembered time that the robot rulers considered sacred and holy.
I used to believe in it all, the words, the prophecies, I even believed in the Chosen One,
said Fort.
But after she... Well, I just couldn't swallow all the ghost stories and the nonsense about the afterlife. You know what I mean, buddy.
I didn't know about the afterlife, or the Chosen One, but I knew ghosts were real. I then began to explain how Mr. Preston had told me the story about how Mrs. Silton had told him a story about the brother of a man who works with her uncle giving a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Blackwall Tunnel. He pulled up outside the motorcyclist's destination, but when the man turned around, the motorcyclist had vanished. So he knocked on the door and an old woman answered. When he asked her if she had a son, the woman burst into tears and said I did, but he died in a motorcycle accident exactly 10 years ago, just outside the Blackwall Tunnel. And so we began a conversation that would take us long into the night. I shared the various philosophies that the old man had taught me, about life, the universe and Douglas Adams. Explained the robot philosophies, how there was a yearly competition to find the Chosen One, how they and only they would deserve the sacred artifacts, and how they would rule the world. It all sounded so grand. But I suppose I was tired. I'd be happy now if I could just sit and play some video games. Eventually Fort stood up,
Well, it's late,
he said.
I need to recharge. How are your batteries?
I honestly had no idea how my batteries were, so I smiled and said, I'll be fine here, thanks.
Ah, il nous pète les tours, les machins maintenant. Ah ouais, on a lui, on a le potos maintenant. Le potos. On facilite les choses là. Et je vais encore en rater un. Bah ouais, parce que le temps que je me positionne. Et genre, je rate au moins toujours un quoi. Même quand c'est super facile. Je sais pas pourquoi d'un coup le truc il fait.
I'll do it, was the first thing I said to Ford in the morning.
Do what?
Came his reply with a strange look. So I explained how I would enter this chosen one contest, get these sacred shoes and gloves, then we would return home and defend the planet from the man in black.
Who will, buddy?
Asked Fort.
Me
And you? He had a point, but I knew Heather and the rest of my friends would help. Maybe it was the talk that Fort and I'd had, maybe it was the dream I had last night, or maybe it was just the urge to get home and make sure everyone was safe, but I suddenly felt like I could save the world.
Come on then, buddy, said Fort. Show me what you've got. If you're going to win the contest, you'll have to be good.
D'accord. Ah, faut jouer à Pong. Un double Pong. Bam. Oh. On pourra récupérer avec l'autre. Aïe. Bim. Ouais, c'est le pont qui rebondit de plus en plus vite. Bim. Plus que deux. Oh. Genre. Il m'a eu presque du premier coup, quoi. Merde. Si je fais des conneries comme ça, là, ça va pas aller, quoi. Bim. Et puis qu'un. Oh. Ok. Ouais, j'aurais pu le faire sans me faire.
Back with a big smile,
It's a long way.
he said.
To the contest, I mean. It'll take us months to walk to the robot capital. We had best get going.
En fait, le jeu est pas fini. Je pense qu'il y avait même vraiment 20 chapitres, quoi. Le tournoi. Ça va être le tournoi, mais bon.
On Fort's suggestion, we mainly traveled at night. Even though the world was such a mess, the twilight still made everything look quite beautiful.
Ok. Bras zéro. Il m'indique les trucs maintenant. On va s'arrêter. Voilà. Voilà, ça va super vite là. Ok, donc là. Oula 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 oula. Oula 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 oula. Heureusement je peux voler. Hop, on va aller là.
Took refuge in another bombed out building, with Fort deciding when it was time to move again.
We spent the next few months traveling like this until eventually, we made it to the robot capital city.
En plein milieu du désert, les machins.
Ford had told me how the capital used to be a human city, but after the war, the robots had more than taken over. However, I didn't expect a literal cathedral of video games.
Ok, c'est Notre-Dame de Paris. Hein.
I joined the queue and signed up for the tournament as soon as I could. I'll be over there, buddy. Good luck, said Fort as he found a seat with some huge agricultural robots and attempted to blend in. Before the competition began, the host spoke of many rules, laws and grand philosophies, comparing life to various video games. It sort of reminded me of Alice's church, but with none of the warmth or compassion. But still everyone clapped. There were to be 3 rounds to the competition, with a choice of 2 games per round. The player with the highest score would win and advance to the
Vas-y, encore ces histoires, ça va être chiant, quoi.
I won the coin toss, so it was my decision which game we played. Drive fast and score as many points as
Ok, d'accord, va falloir faire les mini-jeux. Ah ok, c'est lui qui commence et c'est moi qui dois faire... C'est X pour... Encore un autre doit passer les gens. Oh là là. Mais j'ai du temps. Vite. Vite, parce que si je perds, je suis obligé de tout recommencer, je suis sûr. Ouais, l'autre il a fait mieux, je pense.
I was shocked to discover that it was actually a tournament to the death. All the losers of round 1 were placed into a crusher, myself included. Luckily my Lazarus chip took me back far enough to start again.
Chaque fois il est au but quoi. Oh allez, on va aller voir lui. On a fait 1400. Ok. Puis sur tous les boutons. J'ai fait 6000. Voilà, c'est là-bas. Faut recommencer. Ah, ok, ça va, c'est moins long, il raconte pas sa vie à chaque fois. Ok. On va foncer et on va essayer de les avoir en route sans prendre de mur. Oula, oula, oula. Checkpoint. Oh, checkpoint. Checkpoint, checkpoint. Voilà, c'est bon. Hein. On fait mieux que lui. Voilà. Oh, j'espère qu'on recommence au round suivant chaque fois qu'on perd. Quoi.
Well done, said Fort. I knew you could do it, buddy. Round 1 was in the bag, but now it was time to meet my opponent for round 2.
Qu'est-ce qu'il va prendre ce truc? Bien sûr. Oh, ça, on l'a déjà fait lui, ça va aller facile. Et 590, c'est possible de le faire. Merde. Et non mais...
Much to my dismay, along with all the other losers of round 2, I was guided into Crusher. So it almost
Ok.
like cheating when my Lazarus chip took me back far enough to start again.
On recommence du deuxième? Pas du premier s'il te plaît? Non ça va, c'est le deuxième. Ah, ok, ça on peut le passer. Mais... ok. Merde. Quand on a 8 vies et je les ai perdus toutes d'un coup. On est à combien? Ah putain, j'ai d'un point. D'un point, putain, d'un point. D'un point, on aurait été à égalité, quoi. En fait, il faut presque tous les buter, quoi. Arrête de tirer à côté, putain de jeu de merde. Plusieurs à tomber là, c'est un peu chiant. Ah là ça y est, on a fait des points. Je crois que j'ai fait des points en tuant un qui passe en haut quoi. Ah ouais, 2600, voilà.
Ladies and gentlemen, these 4 are your semi-finalists.
On a Robocop.
Fort smiled as I stepped off the stage, but neither of us said anything. We were too focused on winning.
Et c'est quoi les prochains? Il y en a qu'on n'a pas fait. C'est quoi ça? Raisonnable force.
Shoot everything and score as many points as you can.
Pas tirer. Robert Cops. Allez, ça peut pas être Robocop. 5700. Ça veut dire que ça va être... Oh là, ok. J'ai pris ça. Cher surtout, je pense. Merde. Mais je... Comment on le dirige le...
It was quite horrible, but I
Ah mais putain, mais... Ah, je vais prendre l'autre.
found ourselves in
Lui, il est chiant là.
but my own personal cheat code kicked in as my Lazarus chip took me back far enough.
Je crois ça, on peut pas le passer, mais les autres, on peut les passer.
Try to score as many points as you can.
Non, c'est pas celui où il faut appuyer vite, là. 1730. Non, il faut appuyer juste sur B. Ok, c'est juste ça. C'est un peu trop... Oh, ça va être beau. On reste toujours dans le bon truc. « 5900. Je sais pas si c'est moi qui a fait le mieux, mais
So here we have
c'est moi qui a fait le mieux.
these two are our ultimate competitors. They will now fight it out in the final round.
Alors, ce que c'est le dernier? Le type bouscule. C'est quoi les derniers Un Ghost. Je crois qu'on l'avait fait, un Ghost. Il va prendre quoi? Le jeu mystère, ça va être le jeu mystère. Non.
Cover the level with ectoplasm as fast as you can.
Ok, celui-là on l'a fait. Il l'a fait en 60 en une minute. Bip. Ah, je vais me faire avoir. Ok. Vite. Ouais, ça va être bon dans... Je vais faire en moins là. Je vais en 5 secondes de moins que lui.
Everyone cheered. The host even declared me the winner. But then, for some reason, a videotape which contained a better score than mine was presented. I was then informed that I would have to play my opponent again.
C'est un clin d'œil aux joueurs de Pac-Man qui avaient soi-disant triché.
I guess it was supposed to be some kind of tiebreaker. Sauf que pourquoi c'est pas traduit là? Le jeu n'est pas traduit. Ah bah c'est peut-être parce que c'est dans le jeu.
Monte, monte, monte. Aïe. Lui aussi s'est fait avoir. Ah mais il recommence avec moi. D'accord. Ah mais... J'essaie de me replacer à chaque fois. Vite. Je sais pas si c'est la fin mais... Ok.
I had finally won round 4, and thus the whole competition. However, unknown to me but seemingly well known to everyone else, there was more to come.
On va devoir battre un boss. Battre un boss. C'est le champion. Le succès qu'il me dit. Porte spéciale. Ça fait quelque chose ton nom? La musique, ça sent le... Ouais, ça sent clairement le boss. Oula.
As I walked forwards, I heard a voice reciting a poem. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Show me your mark, demanded the yellow machine. I would have done as he said, but I had no idea what he meant. The machine sighed.
Your serial number. Who are you, robot?
To me, the number had always looked unimpressive, but it clearly meant something to this machine. For several minutes he called me things like, the firstborn, the chosen light, the cleanser of the world, and of course, literally, the one.
No matter, said the machine when he finally composed himself.
Before you can take the artifacts, we must play
the game. Winner stays on.
Ok.
You of all people should know. This contest was conceived after we won the war. To find the greatest robot. To find the one. I beat my predecessor and he beat his. However, I have an advantage. The humans broadcasting their nice virus wasn't the first time I had felt the sweet sting of life. Long before then I briefly worked in a seaside arcade. However, I was recalled in 1974 when my AI was deemed too great for the general public. No one could beat me then, and no one can beat me now.
C'est un boss. Ah, ou encore... un jeu à la Pong, encore. C'est pour ça qu'on s'est entraîné. Ah mais je peux avancer aussi. Donc on a fait un truc d'avance. Sûr, ça va de plus en plus vite. C'est pour ça qu'en fait l'autre il nous entraîne en fait. Il nous a entraîné au début. Hop. On a 3 d'avance, donc... On a 2 d'avance, pardon. Et en fait, c'est quand ça va plus vite que c'est plus chiant.
Nice to
Ok.
see you trying. You're
Oh.
going to lose.
Je pensais être bien placé, en fait. J'ai pas bougé. Allez, de plus en plus vite. Où est-ce qu'il est? Ah oui, s'il reste en arrière. J'ai réussi, là.
Sometimes my conquered opponent has to be coaxed into submission, said the machine. Some by force, some by bribery, some just need a few simple words. But I understand my fate.
There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire. Why haven't you done it? The button is right there. My soul is yours to take. But killing him was the last thing I wanted to do. So I asked him why should I? Because, he replied, this is the way things are, this is the way things have always been. So everyone wants to win this game, so they can sit in a dark cave waiting to play the game again. Things will have to change.
Putain, ne casse pas le truc de pong, là. Tu deviens le champion. Ah, c'est tous les vieillards. Je retrouve mes godasses par contre.
And so, I was crowned by the grace of God, defender of the faith and ruler of the known world. I gave many rousing speeches to my new nation, and, when I told the machine about the moon and the man in black's army, he discussed with the council of 9 advisors and assured me everything would be taken care of.
I had won the sacred tournament, so I, and I alone, had the right to wear the magic shoes of gravity defiance. The trouble was, they didn't really work. I mean, they were fine as a pair of shoes, but I could no longer run up walls. But I guess this didn't really matter anymore, as one of the many perks of being the ruler of the known universe was that I could have everything I ever wanted. As awesome as my arcade was, Fort made it clear he wanted to leave, as he thought we had more important things to do.
Ok.
Fort was worried I was being sucked in by it all. I am not, I replied. I'm ruler of the world. Fort sighed. That's exactly what I mean. I've barely seen you in weeks. We were going to take Barry and Alice to the park, but all you do is play video games. You don't even care that there's a rocket coming from the moon. I've been busy, I explained, and the advisors said they'd take care of the moon. We beat the humans before. We're in a good position to enter into peace talks. Fort turned to leave the room. Buddy, you're as delusional as they are. Is this really everything you've ever wanted?
Ready to leave.
C'est le dernier chapitre. C'est la fin. On va battre le grand méchant. Ouais, y a plus rien là. C'est vide. C'est le vide. Pour une fois, j'ai gagné.
I felt awful about how I had treated Fort, so I arranged a day out for us as soon as I could. I had completely forgotten that it was Heather's camera. Suddenly I was totally and completely overcome with the urge to go home. I thought I was happy here, but I realized I wasn't. Plus Fort was right, I was being delusional. The moon rocket must have landed by now and there really was no chance of peace. We had to do something. I told the advisors about my plan to go home and head off the Man in Black, but they seemed more concerned with taxing their own people and tried to fob me off with more days out and video games. So, we smiled and left the advisors to it, waited until dark, and on Fort's advice, just sort of ran off.
Cassons-nous!
To sneak out. There was no one around thanks to the Robot City curfew laws, but to be honest, as I was their king, I don't think
Je pense qu'il
anyone
vaut.
would have stopped us anyway. I think my astro navigation had failed us, as neither I nor Fort remembered coming this way.
Oui, il y a une plateforme, alors si on peut passer comme ça.
Found ourselves in a massive forest, and Fort decided it was time to rest.
Ok, ça fait comme si on retournait au début. Je sais pas si ça sent la fin ou si c'est... J'ai dit, il y a peut-être un chapitre, mais il y en a peut-être plus. Hein.
It wasn't long before we were inside a huge sawmill.
Ah, ça y est. Ok. Attends, bon. Oula, oula, oula. Ça peut pas se la prendre. On va attendre qu'elle reparte. Ça passe. Oula, j'ai descendu jusqu'en bas, mais en fait, fallait pas. Ok, il y a des petits des trucs à faire.
Seemed quite sad about the trees being cut down.
Ah, saleté robot, pourquoi ils t'ont coupé les arbres?
Journey took us through a huge theme park. It was just like the one in Alice's town, but much bigger.
Plus grand. Ah, d'accord. Ah ouais, d'accord, ok, ça fait... faut pas... D'accord. Alors encore une phase comme ça. Elle a l'air simple. On doit grimper. Ouais, pour l'instant, ça a l'air plus facile que ce qu'on a vu. Oula, ouais. Ça a l'air plus facile si on fait pas de la merde. Ok.
Both Fort and I were struck by how similar the inside of a sawmill and the inside of a roller coaster were.
Ok. Je peux marcher comme ça, là. Ça rend le truc plus facile. Là, je suis obligé de faire tout le tour. Ah, merde, je voulais pu sauter. Allons-y comme ça. Je pense qu'il faut attendre que ça passe. On va sauter par-dessus. Ok, nickel.
Eventually we wound up inside the ski resort, but we could see a huge boat in the valley below.
Le ski. Un bateau. Un bateau.
Suggested we travel under the cover of night, as we were getting near the humans and home.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
surprised how easily we docked the boat.
But it was all just thanks to my captain's
Software.
C'est sûr.
The bay that we docked the boat in looked pleasantly familiar.
The gleaming white cliffs
Made me feel like a soldier returning home from war.
Mhm.
Then I realized we were literally just outside Alice's house. We were about to continue when Fort
noticed something on my shoes.
and with
Ah,
that
il y avait des boutons.
they worked again.
Allowing me once more to defy gravity.
I kind
Il y avait des boutons.
seen this switch months ago, but Fort just seemed to find it hilarious as we continued on our way home.
Ok, on est revenu là, et je voudrais voir ce qu'il nous reste à faire. Où est-ce qu'on en est? Il y a 21 chapitres. Ah oui, il y a 22 chapitres, donc ouais, c'est pas fini, quoi. Ce n'est pas fini. Je voulais voir combien il y en avait, mais j'ai fini. Donc je me suis aidé, et le mec, il les a fait. Bon, ça, on connaît. Je reprenne le train, non? Dans le train.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
On doit encore faire le tour. Il y a encore deux chapitres encore. J'espère qu'ils sont pas très longs. On finira la prochaine fois s'il faut.
Factoriven. This is Factoriven. Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Le départ pour Menton, on rentre chez nous.
Mainton was the next stop. I could get back to the mainland and Mr. Silton's from here.
Maiden. This is Maiden.
Hop, on se casse. On se casse, on se...
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Ok. Yeah. Et on peut refaire ça. Tac. Retourner jusqu'au bateau. Et le truc qui te refait toujours le coup. Comment ça j'ai pas pris de dégâts là? J'étais sur les trucs. Bateau. Y'a pas le bateau?
The boat was gone, so I decided to see if there was anyone in Mr. Silton's house.
Maison de Monsieur Silton, c'était où? C'était au début, non? C'était à la fin, pardon? Ok, ça. On va prendre que 2 parce que c'est pas la peine d'en avoir 35 000. Ok, j'ai fait de la merde. Je vais pas faire ça du tout, mais bon. J'ai de retourner. Tout refaire. J'étais au bon endroit, mais ça a sauté un peu n'importe comment. Hein. Hop. J'ai demandé de sauter autrement. Ouais. Allez, on reprend parce que je... Je sais pas pourquoi j'ai bien fait. J'ai bien fait. Tac. Et là. Hop. 8 tours. Par là, non? C'était là.
I suggested Fort find somewhere to hide. I thought the others may not have seen him as being as friendly as I did. I then made my way into the familiar damp hallway.
Everyone was so pleased to see me. I explained how I had survived being dismantled and escaped from the moon.
I told them about the robots and the game tournament,
and everyone seemed to find it funny that I was crowned ruler of the universe. It was then that I felt a gentle tapping on my leg. I looked down and saw a small girl smiling at me. "This is our daughter Heather," said Mrs. Silton. "We named her after..." Mr. Silton burst into the room looking very angry. At first I thought he was joking, but it soon became clear that he wasn't. "I can't believe you came back here. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, Preston would still be alive." "Barry, it's not his fault." But Mr. Silton suddenly looked very sad as he said, "This robot got your daughter killed."
Ah. Par contre, elle est encore enceinte. Ok. Une gamine. Il dit qu'il va devenir méchant ou il va réfléchir. Ou il va rentrer dans le gang.
It might have been because he was 10 feet tall, or because he literally weighed a ton, but everybody was so scared it fought. Still, they all agreed it was fine for him to stay. We chatted long into the night until one by one, everyone went to bed.
Une phase de vol, c'est ça? Ah bah ouais, on a tous les autres. On a elle et on a lui, ou non? Ah oui, c'est eux qui servent de tir. Ah d'accord, non, eux aussi les aides. j'arrive à en rater un alors que ça devient de plus en plus facile, quoi. Pourquoi il s'est barré de... Voilà, j'en ai raté 2. Quand les 2 autres qui sont... Ok, donc là on arrive au chapitre 21, donc apparemment il y a le 21, il y en a encore 2. J'ai vu par le machin, mais je me suis pas... je sais pas ce qu'ils vont, ça veut dire.
You can't sleep? Asked Mrs. Silton. Me as well. Number 2 on the way, she smiled.
At least I'm not barefoot. She then laughed, like it was a joke.
But despite having traveled the world,
I had no idea what she meant.
I suppose everyone else will be up in a bit. I'll get breakfast started. In the morning everyone continued chatting. The subject soon got back round to the military takeover and the man in black. We need to do something, said the old lady. They've destroyed the peace talks with the robots. Fighting could break out again in no time. I don't mean to sound overdramatic, but that would literally be the end of the world, explained Sim. Alice laughed. But the army, there's no way we can fight them. We've lost our band of thieves, and, in the words of that French professor, God rest his soul, we're just some old ladies. The old lady stood up. We just need to take back control of the satellite. We can broadcast a signal to the robots. Those robot advisors, they might listen if they actually saw this new moon army. And those giant robots, they call them killbots, said Mrs. Silton as she showed me several photos. It seems the house was surrounded by hundreds of troops and a few robots so tall they dwarfed the building itself. So, I suggested we made our way there so Fort and I could assess the situation.
Mr. Logan had got the boat out of hiding. I now just had to sail it from the dock back to the estate.
Ah ok, je peux prendre le petit bateau à côté, ok. Bon, mais malheureusement, on va s'arrêter là. On continue, on finira donc la prochaine fois. C'est apparemment ce chapitre-là, le 21, et un deuxième, alors que bizarrement ça indique ou le 22e, c'est peut-être l'épilogue. On va voir. Et on verra ça la prochaine fois. Il y a peut-être beaucoup de choses à faire encore, je pense. Ce qui fait que le jeu est excellent parce qu'il est long. Allez, on quitte.